Hey there, everyone. How are you doing today? So I did my workout today, and lo and behold, just like you, I was watching another real estate guru talk about his latest investments. And I listened to it, actually listened to it twice to make sure I didn't miss anything. And let's just say I was disappointed. I believe the intention of the video is pure. But if you're going to tell a story about your latest investments and your closing line is, it's easy, follow me, go ahead and start buying some wedge deals and you too can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's just not okay with me, right? So what I've done is I've gone back and listened to the interview or his story for a third time. I've documented here in a PowerPoint, and I just want to highlight how easy it could go from earning nearly $300,000 to losing $200,000. I'm going to do my best to use his numbers. I'm going to use my numbers from the past 20 years. I have experience in investing in down cycles. This young man does not as of yet. So let's just go through the story together. Please let me know what I have missed or maybe what I misheard. This is really meant to be, okay, let's talk about the whole picture. And while buying wedge deals in a up market is awesome, it's what the Burr strategy is built on, it is not a great strategy when the market turns. So let's walk through the PowerPoint. And again, we are going to start by reviewing his numbers so we are all on the same page. So again, I'm calling this when gurus go too far. Yeah, let's just get into it. So again, I'm sharing this information with you because I've been investing in real estate for 20 years. I started on the other side of the last boom market. I invested heavily during the down cycle. I've sold at the peaks twice. So I know, I have a track record. I was about to say I know what I'm doing, but I'm not that arrogant. I've been right a lot of times with real estate investing. And if you want to hear our story, it's in a book called One Rental at a Time, From One House to Financial Freedom. And it's also available on Audible. If you've bought it and or listened to it, do me a favor, leave a quick 5-star review, say great book. I would appreciate it. It's all I ask for. So again, what I'm trying to do in this video is let you know that wedge deals are just so dangerous in a down market. I've seen it crush people. And to do that, I'm going to take the numbers that were shared to us across 4 properties and just show you why it's not easy. And it's certainly not as easy as it was in that video we just shared. So I did my best to record the numbers, house 1 through house 4. What you see here are the purchase prices, the repair costs, and the ARV, which is the expected sale price. Again, these are his numbers, taken right from his mouth. So basically, he bought these for 2.1. He put roughly 200K in, and he's going to sell them for roughly 2.8. Again, those are great numbers in an up market. They're not so great in a down market. But here's the deal. This is what I look at as an experienced investor. The spread, right? You're buying for 2.1, you're selling for 2.775. That's only a 75.3% discount. In an up market, that's awesome. In a down market, that is not nearly enough. So let's take his numbers verbatim and really talk about how he got to his roughly 250K profit. So from what I recall, 2.775 is the sale price, minus repairs, minus closing cost, which in his case, because he's a broker, he only has to pay 4%, minus a 5% price drop. That was his number, right? It's roughly 138K. And then obviously minus the purchase price, which is 2.09 million. So yay, 2.46 million, or no, sorry, $246,000 profit. On paper, that's awesome, right? What is that? 246 divided by 4, that's 60 grand a house. That's awesome. And yeah, that is easy. And all you have to do is you got to stop by every weekend and, do some status checks. And it's so simple, so simple. It's not. If you have a full-time job, it's never that simple. And more importantly, I think there's so many costs that are not in this 246K profit. It is insulting. So let me walk you through that. So here's the deal. I think there's some missing costs. So I don't know about you, but when I buy a house, and I buy lots of them, I have my own closing costs. In the state of California, closing costs are usually split 50-50. Usually when I get a bank loan, there are loan points, loan origination, appraisal fees, inspection fees. So what I have assumed, and I think this number is low, I assumed there was $8,000 in fees just to buy those properties. So 8 times 4 is $32,000 in missing costs. Next, I don't know about you, but when I buy my houses, I like to have insurance, and I am on the hook for property taxes. So let's just assume that I don't know, these houses are owned for 3 or 6 months, and those are real costs. I'm going to assume, again, very low. Let's assume there's only $6,000 in taxes and property management fees. Or I'm sorry, taxes and insurance, my mistake, taxes and insurance. $6,000 in fees times 4 equals $24,000 in missing fees. Next, a missing fee that was actually talked about in the video, making a joke. 125 bucks a day, ha ha ha, I could take a day off if I want to. Well, 125 times 4 is 500 bucks a day. Let's assume that these houses are empty for 80 days. 80 days times 500 is $40,000 in carrying costs. Again, a missing fee of $40,000. So he's already calculated a 5% drop for the Rona, as he calls it. But what I would tell you, what a missing fee is, his ARV is wrong. Watch the videos. He is doing what is called in the industry rental upgrades. And these ARVs that he has are pride of ownership or turnkey or owner occupant. And those fees are different in an up market, right? But they're close. They're 1 or 2%, maybe 3% off. But in a down market, a rental upgrade is not going to sell for anything close to an owner occupant upgrade. Inventory is going to increase. Buyers in this market are going to decrease. They are going to be extra picky. And they are going to have inspections. And you made a joke about a transition piece in your video. That will be picked up during an appraisal, during an inspection, and that will certainly be fixed. Those are examples of things that can't happen if you are going to flip a property. So in my opinion, given the upgrades that we were shared, I believe his ARV is 5% off, which again is 138 grand in missing fees. Also, his down market of only 5% is, I don't know, aggressive or not aggressive. I don't know what to say. It's not enough. I have invested through a down market in inventory that is not perfect, gets hit hard and hit fast. So maybe instead of a 5% down, it should have been 10. So again, there's a potential missing $138,000 in fees or costs. And then finally, this individual can absolutely get away with a selling cost of 4%, but you and I can't. You and I have to pay that extra 2% because you and I have a day job, remember? You and I have a day job, and thus we have an extra $55,000 in fees that we have to pay. So if you go in and you look at all these extra fees, there's a missing cost of $32,000 for loan points and origination and closing costs on purchase. $24,000 in missing property tax and insurance. $40,000 missing in carrying costs. $138,000 in using the wrong ARV. A rental upgrade versus owner occupant upgrade are not valued the same. I think there's a down market. The down market is 10% and not 5%. And then of course, an extra 2% in fees because you and I have a day job and we're not brokers. So I believe there's at least $427,000 in missing fees. So again, if you look at the actual numbers, right? In his numbers, he was showing a $246,000 gain, $60K a house, pretty awesome. I believe there's $427,000 in missing fees. If I'm close, that's a $181,000 loss. Even if you take off my 15%, that's still a $50K loss. Here's the deal. Just like I said earlier on, a 75.3% discount is not enough in a down market. I've invested in a down market. It moves fast and sudden. The ugly inventory is hit harder. Rental upgrades are hit harder from owner occupants. Also, don't forget, I didn't even include a 10% overage, right? I just used 190 grand overage or repair cost. You and I working full time, you better believe you and I are going to have overages. So there's another $19,000 in fees I didn't even include. So in the end, investing in real estate is hard. You have to know your numbers. One rental at a time works. You have to learn your market. A 75% discount is not enough it's not enough of a wedge deal. That's what you should take from this video. So again, this is just meant to be, let's just talk about the real numbers. The other thing that I didn't see in these videos is, do these properties cash flow? Doesn't talk about mortgage payments, doesn't talk about rental amounts. You can hold on if they cash flow. That's why I tell you to learn your market, look for positive cash flow, conservatively finance, so you can hold through a down market. If you buy at the peak, but they cash flow, doesn't matter. The market will come back. But if you buy a wedge deal, you're negative cash flow and you're losing money, that's what happened last time. Strategic default, foreclosure, short sales. Wedge deals, a 75.3% wedge deal is not enough in a down market. I'm sorry. It is a great deal in an up market. It's awesome. But in a down market where non-perfect inventory is punished, where lending is very strict, it punishes not perfect inventory, where buyers are just extra picky, where closing costs and holding costs are real, but they weren't calculated. Come on. All right. I feel better. I'm going to go eat now. All right, everybody. Take care.